lost. There's always a hope. Rise and fight.
Hey.
Hello and welcome, StarCraft fans, to another BSL19 cast. Today we have the round of 8, the elite of the elite making it to the top. We're going to see some crazy games. Today with me is Zhanhun. And how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, buddy. How you doing, Raz?
I'm doing good. I'm really excited for these matchups to see what we got here. We got some really, really good players about to clash.
Yeah, and Zerg in both of these matchups, so I'm especially excited.
Yeah, of course. We'll see what these Zergs can do. I mean, first up, we got Sziky versus Zhanhun, which is going to be wild, man. Both players, top of their games, crazy MMRs, unbelievable. What a clash of the Titans here.
Yeah, I mean, Sziky and Zhanhun probably would be the most interesting game. I don't have much of a read on Sterling, haven't seen enough of him, although Cross is a very strong S-rank Zerg from Canada, so it will be exciting to see that Terran versus Zerg nonetheless. But yeah, Zhanhun is like the man, and he's got one of the most impressive PvZ records, I think, from a lot of Protoss players at his MMR. And Sziky himself does struggle a little bit in that matchup, so he might have to come up with a few tricks from it to pull out from his sleeve to deal with Zhanhun. Maybe a few Hydra busts here and there. We'll have to see.
I mean, Zhanhun is just a macro monster, plays really clean. We see him in a whole bunch of high-level tournaments, even with the professional Koreans, and pulling some games off of them. So you know that he's going to be a lot for Sziky to handle. But if there's a Zerg that can do it, I believe in Sziky. Really strong player, has been playing for a long time, extremely experienced, shouldn't be feeling the pressure. Oh, and look at this, here we go. We see the map picks here, and we see that despite Sziky being the higher MMR player on the ladder, he gave Zhanhun the first pick, and Zhanhun took Vermeer and then Radon. And Sziky taking Dominator, Apocalypse. I find it interesting that a lot of Protoss ban Neo-Dark.
Way more like StarCraft than chess in that. It might be more like poker, like chess in that regard. You have to represent a wide range of players. We're going straight into it. Both players are ready.
All right. Game number 1 coming up here on Vermeer. Let's get into it. Right. And spawning in the top right corner of Vermeer, it is Mr. Sziky. And in the bottom right, our Protoss player from China, it is Zhanhun.
He's a beast.
He's very good. Very, very good. Fortunately for Sziky, he's going to get a first scout here. He's setting his Overlord in the proper scouting pattern to see where Mr. Zhanhun is, and he's going to find him.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at these last 10 matches. Sziky, man, look at that. Really strong. Only losses are to Mihu, DeWalt, and Terror. I mean...
Right.
You know, that's pretty impressive. You know,
that's a pretty impressive record. Yeah.
You know, taking down the NMAX, so there's the only Protoss on the list, but some strong wins going on there.
He's also so consistent in Zerg versus Zerg. You usually don't see that. Kind of reminds me of like Jaedong back in the day. Like really difficult to be consistent in that matchup. Still manages to find a lot of success in it. But now he needs to dig deep into his Zerg versus Protoss because, yeah, Zhanhun's going to be a tough mountain to climb here.
Yeah, I think we're just going to see a... we're going to see a gate expand here from Mr. Zhanhun.
Okay.
Not going to check for the Overlord, surprising. Usually you go up there and see if the Overlord's there or whatnot. Is it a 9-pull speed?
It looks like it. He's not. Yeah, he would have pounced. Yeah. This is very aggressive from Sziky, and you're right, because he hasn't checked this Overlord spot at 3 o'clock to get a cheeky potential early scout on the Overlord. This is going to punish Zhanhun a lot, because now he's going to last scout potentially, and yeah, now this gives a little bit of an edge for Sziky to exploit. Maybe this will have a chance of doing something. This is a gateway first, and kind of a little bit of a soft counter to this build order.
Yeah, real problem's going to be, like you're saying, is the last scout's going to come in. So he's going to be sending that Zealot up to Ziky's base, and there's going to be 6 Lings out, soon to have speed coming down. If Zhanhun doesn't put a force down immediately, he will die.
Right. This is very sticky situation for Zhanhun. We might see an early tempo lead here for Sziky, which could be just the thing he needs in this series to actually take out Zhanhun. Getting that first win will be absolutely massive for him. Zerglings will be able to circumnavigate this probe before it comes in, so they won't actually see the Zerglings for quite some time and probably will catch the Zealot for free.
Wow. Not gonna see.
Oh, he sees it just barely. He sees one Zergling.
Oh, he does. Yes, he does. He turns around. He immediately puts the Zealot going back. Now, and he'll recognize now that there are more Lings on the way, and it's going to be speed. He needs to get a probe down here immediately to put down this forge. If he just goes for a Nexus, I'm concerned for him.
Yeah, he needs to completely invest in this defense. Oh, the Lings get around to the north side of that gateway. He needs to get to the ramp with the Zealots, and he can't do it. The Lings are into the main base now, Raz. This could be a lot of dead probes, or at the very least, a lot of harassment.
Oh my goodness, 6 Zerglings soon to have speed here. Even just forcing him to pull these probes continuously is going to make a problem. The question now is, will Zhanhun put a cannon in the main to try to deal? And will he be able to get his cannon up at his nap? Because now we have, oh, the speed is kicked in. See you later. And this one Zealot about to get caught.
Completely surrounded in natural expansion. Beautifully done, yeah.
Goodness, and these Zealots are going to get caught too. He's putting them in a good position with the probes to fight. Once these Zealots go down, this could be the game one here for Mr. Sziky.
Really well done from Sziky, yeah. But I think you're right, Raz. I think this is purely Zhanhun's like little bit of laziness and not trying to identify that Overlord scout by checking 3 o'clock with the probe early on. That's a big missed opportunity from Zhanhun. He's really paying the price. Like, this is ridiculously high damage. I don't necessarily know if he can recover from here.
No, this is game-ending damage. Zhanhun just collecting himself, trying to pull his mind together, saying, right, what did I do wrong here? This is ridiculous. And there's the GG. Game 1 goes to Sziky.
Wow, really impressive stuff from Sziky. And that's exactly what he needs to do to win this series. He needs to take the life out of him early on, get that tempo, get that wind behind his sails to carry him all the way through. Every little bit of mind games, psychological edge is going to be coming in buckets, and necessarily so.
Yeah, it seems that Mr. Sziky did his homework, right? He was able to just say, hey, I'm going to go with the 9 pool speed. This guy opens up gate a lot. I'm going to catch him on game 1 and really put him on the back foot. Now, we were talking about it. You do something crazy like this, Zhanhun's got to be saying, is Sziky going to do it again? Is he going to just open with a 9 pool speed? So does he just open with something safe like a forge to try to get into game number 2?
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing we were talking about earlier very briefly about the range of play. You want to be able to put the fear of God in your opponent. If he doesn't know what you're capable of doing, or at least he knows you're capable of doing something crazy, he will himself be way more hesitant to try certain build order ranges himself. So you kind of do have a psychological edge if you can get that early mind game, make them think you're going to do something really outlandish like a 9 pool speed. And now Zhanhun's going to be like on his guard the rest of the series, maybe allowing Sziky to get away with some other kind of shenanigans.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Sziky, you're feeling good, right? Like, you just took away one game on his map pick. You got a nice little early lead here, a little cushion going into your pick. You got to be feeling really strong. And Dominator, listen, very tough map in the beginning. I'm assuming Zhanhun's going to wall here with the Forge because the gateway open is going to leave a lot of spaces. So gotta be careful, and our players are ready, so we're gonna jump right into game number 2. Here we go, Sziky versus Zhanhun, game 2 on Dominator. All right, and spawning in the top left position, down 1 game, it is Zhanhun. And in the mid-right position, our Zerg player up 1-0. It's Sziky.
Like I say, our Zerg player. You really do feel like a sense of camaraderie with this guy, huh?
He's on Team Red with us, man. I gotta root for him. You know, StarCraft and Red play together.
I feel it. I'm kind of rooting for Sziky too. I'm gonna just. I mean, I'm a Zerg player and I've got a bit of bias from region. I have to admit it. You know. He has a lot more lag.
About the lag. Yeah, we're playing on turn rate 12 low here.
This is like worse than a 3v3 BGH at the moment.
Yeah, we are mixing multiple regions here. Surprising that it's this bad, though. Usually you can get at least turn rate 14. Right. But
yeah, this is surprising. This seems like more of a clash than anything. This doesn't seem right.
And Mr. Sziky has left the game with the lag. I guess we're going to see what we can do to maybe have this lag a little bit better. All right. Now we're reversing positions in the top center here. It's Sziky. And now in the mid-right, we have Zhanhun. Now, Zoo, we always have a little, there's always a debate whether you should keep restarting the game until you get the same exact positions.
Well, I kind of, in a way, I do agree with that, just to avoid the, the incentivization of potential shenanigans. Yeah. Technically, I agree with that. We should probably save and load from, just because of the issues of, you do get a slight advantage from getting certain positions, in terms of mineral optimization and what have you. So it does kind of factor in a little bit.
Yeah, I always think it's always funny to think about. All right, Zhanhun said, I'm not afraid of your 9-pull speed. Gateway first, again, in your face.
Balls of steel here. And does Sziky... Ziky's already got a pull down. We probably won't be seeing necessarily a 9-pull speed, but definitely wants to not take any chances and be super greedy with a hatchery first here, and that's a wise decision.
Yeah, I feel like overpull is pretty much the meta right now, the standard that you're seeing from so many Zergers, just overpull.
Yeah,
keeps you safe.
I've always liked overpull in this matchup. It's just so safe and well-rounded, and you don't have to worry about losing a drone then, and it just makes sense to be a more well-rounded player to go for this kind of opening.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Zhanhun does as a response, because the weakness overpull is the larva count, right? So will he go third pylon before Nexus and pressure with more Zealots? Will he just put down the Nexus and sit back? It'll be interesting to see what he picks.
Yeah, I'm really, really happy to see that he's just like double downing with his gateway, though. I like this confidence from him. Like, he doesn't seem to be like some of these other Protoss players. He does seem to have those big Chad balls.
Yeah, I would have put a Forge down. So
you got the little Razz balls.
That's it. Oh, God, they're tiny right now. I would be like, nope, not going to let that happen again.
But you're the Razzle Dazzle. You still got some tricks up your sleeve.
We got some tricks, but not tricky enough to go gateway twice. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm curious. I think he will try and hunt down this probe a little bit, but then we'll think better of it, because he knows there will be a Zealot hanging around nearby. Yeah, I think, although he is just going to go straight for the natural expansion, so maybe this Zealot can slip in here.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous for Zhanhun again, man.
Yeah,
5 lings already? Like, you're pushing the pace here, which is great. But now he's going to get 5 lings in your base, or at least a couple.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to be really fancy with the 1 probe, 1 Zealot block.
Oh my God, he got the Zealot too.
Yeah, he got the probe.
He just got out.
I mean, as long as he didn't get the Zealot, it's not too bad, but it's still pretty bad. Already taken more than half health damage onto that Zealot. It's really softened up now. Might even get picked off if he's not paying attention. Now microing in the main base of Sziky as well. Does manage to get one of the Zerglings, but drones coming off the line. The disruption of mining is huge, but he's killing 2 probes right now. So big damage done on both sides in terms of lost mining for the drones as well. But honestly, I would say this is a little bit Sziky favored.
I would say definitely Sziky favored. He did not overmake lings, it seems like. He's getting 2 probes now. Oh, 3rd probe goes down.
Wow.
Starting to get close to game ending. If we get a couple more here, we really got to be careful.
We're already in a dicey area. Assuming both play perfectly from now on, we're already in the area of Sziky having a pretty decisive lead. But if we lose any more probes here for Zhanhun, it might be damage he can't necessarily recover from easily. So we are in very dangerous waters now for Zhanhun. Hopefully he can navigate that. Oh, this Zealot's almost getting boxed in.
Oh, it is boxed in. Oh my goodness.
Sziky's doing it, Raz.
He is absolutely pulling all the stops with these Zerglings, early this early aggression. And you see, he didn't overmake the Zerglings. We see a ton of drones popping. And Zhanhun really late on everything now, right? Like, everything is delayed. We're already 435. We don't even have our core down. Like, we are really behind.
We're hurting a lot now for Zhanhun. His tech is so far behind, and I think yeah, Sziky knows the exact timings because of these Zerglings and Overlord just chilling in the main base as well. So he's going to put on a bit of pressure with the free hatch Hydra, and he doesn't necessarily have to commit to this as well. He just wants to put on pressure, force more cannons, kill the wall, kill the upgrade timing. This is going to be a very awkward game for Zhanhun to navigate, no matter which way you slice it. He wants to commit to the Zealots, but now the cannon's exposed. Why didn't you pull the probes if you're doing a play like this, Zhanhun? This is just too cocky, buddy. Oh, this is crazy. He's going to get the pylon as well, at least.
Yeah, now he's in big trouble. Pylon about to go down. Probes going down. He's probably just making more Zerglings at home. Oh my goodness, 2 more probes go down. And we have Speedlings in the main core just going down. As long as Sziky defends this well without losing too many drones, he will be so far ahead. He knows the game is his.
Right, he's trying to get some target fires now, but I don't think he's going to be able to kill a sufficient amount of drones necessarily. He does try to clean up a few of these drones. If Sziky, he loses 2 so far. That's not too bad. If he loses any more, this could get a little bit out of control. But so far, this is pretty okay from Sziky. He loses 3, so pretty even. It's not too bad, but losing this 4th would be a little bit costly. Okay, doesn't lose that one at least, so not too bad from Sziky's side of things.
I still think with the damage done, right now, Sziky is in the lead. On top of it, Zhanhun has no idea what the tech is behind this. Because the Stargate is so late, he does not know that the Hydra Den is already down.
That's true. He doesn't know where the lair timing is or anything either. There's not really much scouting information that was gleaned there. He just saw a lot of drones in the natural expansion. It could be literally anything behind this, so really unfortunate for him. Another Zealot gets caught out in the open as well. He's not going to be getting very good trades either, and now he's going to be relegated to just standing behind his wall as soon as these Hydras start to trickle out. No lair on the way just yet, but he has got a lot of drones at all 3 of these bases. He's looking rather healthy going into this mid game, Raz.
He is, and oh my goodness, there's a gap. Okay. Just in time, the other Zealot comes out.
I mean, I feel like you should have a probe just chilling, waiting for the Zealot to finish at the times like these, just to have no chance of it happening.
Yeah, Zhanhun cutting a lot of corners and getting punished.
Yeah.
Just absolutely getting punished. And he's about to get punished again, I think. I think this game may end here. We have one cannon. We have the Sarah's just popping out, so we don't know that it's Hydra. We will in a second here when we fly over it.
We just see the Hydra now, so yeah. But I mean, the thing is that even though he sees it now, this still might be too little too late. He's going to throw down 2 cannons, but he's only got 1 cannon that's finished up. So I don't know. Like, he might still have a timing with these Lings to soak against the Zealots to just bowl this over still. And he, at the very least, will kill this wall and do a transition. So either way, even if Sziky doesn't commit to this, he's still in a comfortable position. Forcing out these cannons is just slowing down the gateway count of Zhanhun exponentially.
Hopefully that's another pylon by that Nexus, because if not, I'm looking at that burning pylon right now.
Tempting,
and, oh my goodness, here we go.
Well, he might be able to target fire. He might, if he targets down the cannons, he might be able to break through. Only 2 left remaining. Does have to pull back. Only 6 Hydras with some more trickling on the way. Eventually we'll have about 10 or so Hydras. He can kill this Forge and pressure this, so does have to throw down additional cannons here with the more and more Hydras pouring in. Might be able to finish the job, or at the very least force a bit of a panicked response here from Zhanhun.
Yeah, I think he's going to be able to at least get another cannon or 2 here if he just goes in, and targets down. 1.
This is huge.
2 down. Here we go. Now it's all about the micro here versus these Zealots. The faster he kills these Zealots, the quicker he can get to the cannons that are morphing in. 1 is morphing in, but there's so many Hydra. We need 3 cannons plus 1 to kill these amount of Hydra. We don't have that.
Wow.
Oh, no.
The target find was a little bit sloppy from Sziky. It was almost perfect, but he's going to force a GG. He's done it. He's got 2-0 up against Zhanhun. What is this Mad Dragon doing? A little bit. I'm a little bit concerned that he might be stubborn and go for that gateway again, you know. I'm having a little bit of feeling that might be the case, especially on radio, and it's a big map.
Yes, I see him probably doing it again just because that's what he's comfortable with. But I think we need to actually get into a mid game. We have not made it past the 12, 13, 14. We haven't made it past to a real mid game yet.
Yeah.
We've died.
We've not even seen leg enhancements yet.
No,
it's been really bad. But Sziky playing into his strengths is exactly what he needs to do. And Protoss start to shine in that mid game. He needs to stop them from getting there.
Yeah, totally fine. Okay, so Radion was Zhanhun's pick. So hopefully he's feeling good. Like, all right, I'm on my map. I wanted this map. Let's just play it out. Simple. Get into the game. All right, so I think our players are ready. So let's get into game number 3 between Zhanhun and Sziky. All right. Spawning in the top right corner, down 0-2. The Protoss player is Zhanhun. And in the bottom left, up 2-0, looking to make it into the next round, it's Sziky.
You had so much pep in your step when you were like up 2-0, and I feel that energy as well, Raz. This is a great performance from Sziky, and I want to see him go all the way. Let's get that 3-0, buddy.
He could do it. I think this could be his time.
Yeah. I want to see it. I mean, I'm really rooting for him now. I'm absolutely blown away by how much of a commanding lead he's taken. I did not expect this performance at all. It's kind of crazy. It's like a glitch in the Matrix, and I want to see him completely destroy Agent Smith here.
I think he's on his way. All right, we see the Zealot, the probe going out, so we're probably going to have a forge here this time.
Yeah, it looks like that. Typically, you'd keep that probe back for a little bit of mineral optimization and not go for the early scout if it was going to be a gateway first, which is why Raz is saying that. But yeah, another overpull from Sziky. Really, little gas trick. So this guy.
Wow.
No, he's going to commit to. Okay, it's gas trick. Okay, it's gas trick.
All right, yeah.
He had me going for a second. He had me going for a second. I was like,
Would be crazy. All right, going to the left side, so it's going to be a forge. Double scout to see if he can go Nexus first, which he will not be able to because it's a 9 pool.
Yeah. This is going to be interesting, and he potentially could block this hatchery going down if he really wants to, but he will see no Overlord down here, so he will want to go into the main base to check that it is a 9 pool, which he will do. So I'm curious to see if he'll try and make a hatchery at a 3rd base with this drone out on the map, or if he just will continue to scout with it. I don't think he will. I think he will just try and expand now, but I think he'll block the hatchery for quite some time now that he's trying to play like this.
Yeah, he has the ability to sit here and harass it for a little while, at least till the lings get out. Unfortunately, versus the 9 pool with 6 lings. Oh my goodness.
Doesn't get it.
Not his day so far with these little moments.
Yeah, that's really annoying for Zhanhun, because he can make these lings chase this probe around for a little bit more and be a little bit more annoying and delay the Sziky's timings and shave off a few seconds off the lava optimizations. It's just a little bit more annoying, and he doesn't even get a tiny little mind game victory, tiny little psychological edge. Nothing, no juice out of the orange for him. Sziky's a greedy boy.
Yeah, I like it. Getting after it.
Yeah.
Sziky pulling out all the stops.
He's a dragon. Absolute beast of a player. We don't usually see foreigner Zergs with this level of play. It's nice to be able to witness him. I feel like he should just play a very mid-rangey style now, though. I don't want to see anything too hyper-aggressive out of Sziky this game. I just want to see a more or less standard 6-hatch Hydra kind of setup.
Yeah. I do know he likes his Muta play as well, so it'd be interesting to see if he tries to pull something out like that now. We won with Blames, we won with Hydra. Can we just win with the Mutalisk?
He would have to go for a bit more of an Ogre Zergy kind of style now that he's already invested in this early 3 bases. You could go for a very quick 2-base Muta play and then transition into a 4-base Hydra, 4-hatch Hydra or something. But I don't know, I feel like he needs to pull out a little bit of shenanigans, but nothing too crazy. Maybe some Ogre Zerg, but I don't think he wants to necessarily be hyper aggressive in this game. I think Zhanhun is going to play super defensive and passive for at least up until the mid game.
It would make sense that he just wants to actually play a game.
Yeah. You'd think so, right? That's why I think this is the time for Sziky to be a bit greedy. Make a few more drones than usual, and just be a tiny bit more well-rounded than his usual aggressive style. And just I don't think Zhanhun will expect that kind of play from Sziky as well, to be a little bit greedier than usual.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think he's expecting him to be hyper aggressive as he's been the last 2 games, right? And if you're a Sziky, in your mind, maybe you go hyper aggressive instead of greedy because you're like, it's been working.
Yeah, it's not broke, don't fix it, I guess. Do see that lair coming online. I do think you're right. We might be seeing potentially some kind of Ogre Zerg from Sziky, some kind of Mutalisk play at least, even if it's just to snipe High Templars later on to make it easier for the Hydras to do their job. I don't know. I'm feeling a little bit cautiously optimistic for Sziky. I don't want to jinx it, and suddenly like we get a reverse sweep and Zhanhun just goes 3-2 here. That's also possible, right?
Of course, it's possible. Player of his caliber can 100% turn this around, right? He could take 3 games, no problem. We see him here, very fast Citadel, delaying the +1. So I'm wondering if he's going to play some type of DT opening first with his Sair, or if it's just going to... We only have 2 on gas at the mat. So maybe not.
Yeah, I'm also curious, like, are we going to be seeing, like, any, like, slightly off-meta up choices here from Zhanhun? Like, I don't know, does he always, like, get, like, weapons or armor in a certain order? Or does he sometimes mix that up?
Yeah, I don't know what... I'm not sure what he's going to try to pull out this game.
Well, he doesn't seem to... Some Protoss players will get like an early second gateway and put on like some very quick tech timings. You'll see like Mini does this sometimes, where he'll like get a very quick core and Citadel, get a much earlier leg enhancements, and just using 1 or 2 gateways, apply a little bit of earlier Zealot pressure than usual to try and upset the Zerg's usual like timings and transitional points of weakness. I don't know if we're going to be seeing anything like that this game, but does look like Zhanhun wants to try and come out on the map a tiny bit here, but I don't think Sziky's going to be allowing anything to come across the midway point. Already getting a good surround on these Zealots before the upgrades become relevant.
Yeah, he's got to be careful here. If he loses all these Zealots, he loses all his map presence just for Lings. Not worth it whatsoever.
Yeah.
It almost seems like he's going for kind of like a standard 1-1-1, like +1 air, +1 attack, and then your speed leg and try to pressure, but...
Right.
I feel like now that he's lost so much health on those Zealots, it's going to be a hard timing to do. But very, very, very standard from Zhanhun here. Like, really not going off the beaten path of what I would say is the most standard style of PvZ right now. Oh, yeah, my goodness.
Almost got the interception on that Corsair there. But yeah, I really do like that Sziky's just going straight into like a, a normal 3-hatch lair into a 6-hatch Hydra kind of setup here. Exactly what I wanted to see from him. And that's cross-map on Raid, and you've got such a longer rush distance as well. And with some Sunkens placed correctly and some good drilling with the drones, he should be pretty safe against any onslaught from these Zealots. Although he will try and probe for weakness and at least make sure that Sziky is committing into these defenses correctly, and all the I's have been dotted and all the T's have been crossed from the Zerg side, so he's not getting away by too greedy, and also forcing these drones to come off the line like this. If he can catch 1 or 2, then that's going to be huge. He might get at least this 1 drone. That's big, and all this lost mining time is also a very big dent into the economy of Sziky as well.
Yeah, that's really good pressure from him. I think anytime you could force Zerg to put down 4 Sunkens, like, you're feeling good, right? Like,
yeah,
he didn't lose the drones, but look at how many he has 3 at his 3rd base right now. So he's oversaturated at his natural right now with 3 in the 3rd. So Zhanhun definitely putting pressure to cause mistakes, right? Like, he's not making the game-winning play, but the pressure itself is causing Sziky to make a couple mistakes.
Yeah, and he sees the early 3rd gas from Sziky, so I do think he's aware that the Ogre Zerg might be coming. He's making a cannon each mineral line. He's a little bit cautious. I don't think these Corsairs will be moving out much for quite some time. I think he's just going to be waiting with bated breath. Yeah, there's the Archon prematurely. He knows that Sziky might be just hounding him with a huge flock of Mutas and Scourge any moment now. He hasn't committed to that just yet, Sziky, but he is starting to build up that flock of Mutalisks and Scourge.
Yeah, I really like Zhanhun's decision here to make the Archon, continue to make Sair, because from this position, you can really put some pressure on the Zerg, and then take your 3rd at the same time. Like, you should be able to...
Yeah.
Be able to just get that third gas, and that's a really big break point for Bros. We see Zyky's economy not looking strong.
Well, the Archon acts as like a point defense for the Scourge to protect the Corsairs, right? As they're en route across the map. Like, you need that point defense of the Archon to stop the Mutalisk, just to be able to stand and fight, and also to like one-hit these Scourge as they come in. Does give a lot more safety to the Corsairs while you're in transit.
I think attacking is a mistake here from Zhanhun. I think pressuring and taking a third is the key. Don't overextend. Don't overextend. You're not going to bust the Sunkens and the Muta and the Scourge, right? Like, the Sunkens will target your Archon down, and then you're in trouble.
Yeah,
All he really has to do is sit there.
Yeah, he's got +1 Carapace on these air units as well, does Sziky, so we'll be able to tank some of those neutron flares and maybe get the better of them if he can somehow overwhelm and get a good surround with those Scourge. He's got so many Scourge as well. He can do it. I'm wondering when he's going to pull the trigger on that. He sees the third base coming out from Zhanhun. He can't just maintain the game state. 3-base Zerg versus 3-base Protoss doesn't work on paper, unfortunately. So something will have to be done here from Sziky. He still seems to be building up and biding his time for something. Maybe he wants a force of Hydras to attack with soon after he goes in with the Ogre Zerg. I'm not sure what he's waiting on right now. He's going to be making a move now, heading towards the northern flank of the map, I think, to dive into the natural expansion and try and snipe Templars.
Yeah, I think Zyky's going to look to try to make something happen, considering he's committed to this and hurt his own economy, so he wants to get something done. But Zhanhun looks very ready with these Templar, these 10 Sair. He has an Archon, he's got a third base. I think it's going to get tricky here.
Oh yeah, already in position to start mowing down some DPS onto that flock of Mutalisk as well. Makes them tuck tail and run. Sziky thinks better of it. He knows just how quickly his army could be diced into smithereens there. Now Zhanhun moving out onto the map a little bit here with some infantry forces. Maybe he can put on some pressure at this third base. Already the Hydra production has started though, so there might be enough to ward these units.
Yeah, I think it'll be okay. With the Sunkens and the Hydra, I don't think he's going to bust. I think it's good for him to pressure and make sure Sziky isn't freely droning up. Right, he's actually doing it. Oh, good micro here from Sziky, getting some shots off on these Zealots.
Ooh, be careful though. He gets these Mutalisk caught and loses them for free. He wants to at least get like 1 or 2 High Templars with these later on so that he can get a bit of a tempo play. So there's not enough Storm to deal with the clumps of Hydra. So does need to keep these Mutalisks alive as long as possible for some critical High Templar snipes later on. But he might not be able to get that. I think with these 10 Corsairs being as active as they are, I think he might be able to deny that and like basically completely screen these Mutalisks from like achieving what they were hoping to do.
Yeah, I really like Zhanhun's position right here. 3 gas Protoss. He knows he doesn't really need to move. He can sit here and just macro up, right? If he could just make a nice death. Okay, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, those.
That's not good.
He's just diving, man. He's diving for these Templar. He gets 2 of them, but I don't know if that was worth, man.
Yeah, I don't know if that's enough, Raz. I don't think it was. I feel like there's going to be enough utility in the remaining forces to mop up these Hydralisks. I'm a little bit concerned for Sziky, and he has to act. He's on 3-base versus 3-base. He has to punish this. And look at this huge infantry force coming out. Already he's got, okay, just 2 High Templars with 4 Storms total. So if he can just hold on for 1 or 2 more minutes for another round of unity, he'll be fine. But Zyky's trying to press the issue now.
Yeah, here we go. We're engaging now with pure Hydra here. I don't know if his +1 is even done to match. +1 is done, but +1 armor should also be done. So I think that Zhanhun is fighting well here because of that. Big storms, trying to dodge it. Wow, Zhanhun just running over this Sziky army, and at the same time, it's that using those Sairs, and there's the GG. Sziky knows it.
I mean, what can you say about that? That's the big confidence boost that he needs to find in this matchup. Zhanhun needs to, you know, find the reality again. Like, there was definitely glitches in the Matrix, and now he's swallowed his blue pill and he's getting back to how things used to be and back on board and being in command. I'm a little bit concerned for Sziky. He looks shaky in a straight-up game versus Zhanhun, which means he might have to rely purely on shenanigans to somehow close this out.
Well, listen, he took 2 games, so he can find that 3rd game with some type of shenanigans, a 4-pool, some other nonsense. I'm sure he can do it, but I will say Zhanhun extremely impressive in that match. Right? Like, I mean, just played extremely standard. pressured with fake pressure, causing Sziky to make some mistakes, and then taking his advantage and pushing it. Really recognizing the game state extremely, extremely well, right? By not moving whatsoever, saying, all right, I'm just gonna go across the map and come back. I'll force you to make Hydra. Your drone count is low. I'll just wait for you to run into me. I'm okay with 3 base versus 3 base, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah,
Sziky could not get the High Templar snipes that he was looking for.
Yeah, all the onus was on Sziky to try and find some compensation with that current game state. Zhanhun, like an absolute god, just maintained himself, feet planted in right. Okay, we think both players are ready, so we're going to go straight into it.
Right, game number 4 here, and in the bottom left, it is Sziky. And in the bottom right of Apocalypse, we have Zhanhun. Now, Zun, this map can get interesting because of the way that the high ground is above your natural and third. Lurker contains are a pain. Like, if you can set it up well and you can get it, I would almost not be surprised if Sziky goes 3 base, Lurker before range, and just sets up the contain immediately, and just puts it all in contain.
Yeah. That reminds whenever I played on maps like this, there was a few others that were like 3-player maps which have these high grounds. I'm blanking on some of the names. But anyway, yeah, if you go for Lurker before range, you can get a critical timing where you just need the speed to deal with the Zealots early game in terms of micro, because you're not trying to bust or kill him or anything, and then getting the Lurker tech just a tiny bit early and getting that sneaky contain, you definitely can run away with the game. Trying to attack up to this high ground is very difficult for the Protoss players. You're usually utilizing Dragoons to bust out, and phase disruption shots up ramp with mischance makes it way more complicated.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that could be the best play here. And we see Zhanhun now saying, you know what? I'm going to use this. Oh. Wow. You see Zhanhun's stats there the last 10 matches. I see a lot of green. The only red I see is versus a very, very good Protoss player himself, is DeWalt.
Yeah.
Taking out Zhao Shuai, taking out Sziky, Dragon, Mihu. I mean, unbelievable. 2-0 versus Nyokin. I mean, Zhanhun, impressive record there.
Very impressive record. And
did you see a cannon rush?
Maybe. He's at least representing the possibility of a cannon rush to force drones off the line. At the very least, another drone will come out to deal with this, which is, an extra 50 minerals a minute he won't be obtaining from that drone. So any harassment is good harassment. So just representing a little bit of a cannon rush here, but actually going to be going for a Nexus first.
Yeah, both of these players really know the builds well and what their response should be. Seems like a pretty fast gas there from Sziky, no?
It is pretty fast, yeah. Considering he's like trying to play greedy with a hatchery early on, this might be interesting from him. I'm curious how he follows this up. Is this 2-hatch Hydra?
I think it might be 2-hatch Muta. We're gonna see a 2-hatch Lair play. I'm expecting.
Yeah, it seems too slow to be 2-hatch Hydra, so it has to be 2-hatch Muta or something like that.
Sziky does like to play 2-hatch at times, so.
He is a Mutalisk user, yeah, so definitely a 2-hatch play. And you don't have to be all in with that 2-hatch play. You can just make 5 or so Mutalisks or 4 Mutas and 1 Scourge and just bully the Sare into the main base of the Protoss so they can't scout you until they've got the 6 Sare. And then you can transition into a 4-hatch Hydra bus because that's before Storm timing. So they basically need to have 4 cannons and Storm to defend you or they just die. And you don't even have to kill them with that. You can then just contain them and try and go from there and, use lurkers and go up to 9-hatchery late game production. So there's so many ways you can play from a 2-hatch Muta. So just because he goes for a 2-hatch Muta here doesn't necessarily mean he's all in.
I gotta say, I love Zhanhun's response. Did you see how greedy he was? He put down his core before the cannon. He recognized, hey, all right, 12-hatch, gas early, you're not making any lings. I'm just gonna get my whole tech up. So we can see that he has his cybernetics core almost completed, if not done already, and it's already done, and the Stargate is down.
Yeah.
I think that smells trouble for Sziky, considering he has not seen a 3rd hatchery, so I think he's probably onto what's happening here.
Right. Well, it kind of does spell trouble for him because, like, when you're playing against like Nexus first like this, there's usually not a way to punish it. So you just have to play from behind, and unless you're someone like Sziky, you don't really have like the finesse and composure to always play from behind and make it work. As can be very difficult to do so. He's trying to kill this scouting probe desperately to just like, you know, at least obscure some information from Zhanhun, make him keep second guessing what he needs to do to min-max in this game. But honestly, as long as he just keeps going with his current tech path, he might be okay against what Sziky's going up against him with.
Yeah, if you recognize it, the trick here is if you send the first arrow and it dies, you're in big trouble, right? Like you need to put your cannons down. But I think that his timing, the way it is, you already see +1 air already going. He might be able to get that Sarah there and back.
Well, yeah, the problem is that usually the Mutalisk is going into the main base as the 5 mutas are hatching, so you can't usually run away from them if the Zerg player is on top of things and like has mineral boosted correctly and so on and so forth. So you almost lose that Corsair for free if you're not careful. And as you can see here, that won't be the case. The Spire timing's just slightly slow, so he will be able to get a good scout off and get this Corsair home safely, critically.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be, he's going to see what this is by the second gas, the timing of it, and he's going to be able to get an Overlord, which is not usually the case, but because we went Nexus first, or even you'd be able to get that and give a little supply block here from Sziky, not to be able to use those next couple larvae. Massive deal. Oh man, if he stays though, what is he doing?
He's playing with fire. He's a cocky mofo, isn't he? Look at him.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe that we stayed there and did that. He's out of his mind.
It's almost like he subconsciously knows there's Mutalisks in the eggs in the natural, and he's got the time to do it. Like, this is a mad lad.
Yeah, that's a crazy move. Usually, like I said, you don't get the Overlord. So to get it and to get out is insane. Oh, the double den, baby. The double den. Here we go.
He's going to double down with a double den.
Someone's been watching some Sziky.
Yeah. This is a very old style where you would quickly get 2 dens so you can get both the range and the speed instantaneously and just go for a big tempo swing. Try and Hydra Bust before they can even like establish themselves and put up an adequate defense. So might be able to see a bit of a bowl over from Sziky in this matchup if he can catch him off guard here. But if Zhanhun even smells a little bit of this, then we're in trouble. He can just make cannons and we'll be a-okay. But if he doesn't, if he can somehow manage to make Zhanhun think that more Scourge and more Mutas will keep pouring out, then this might just work.
Yeah, we saw this in SSL, didn't we? Or it wasn't this season, but maybe the last season?
Yes. I know exactly what you're talking about, yes.
It was on Citadel. I don't know if it was Bisu versus Sziky or Bisu versus Soma. Yeah, and they played, and he was like in a commanding lead, double den, Hydra Bust, game winner. Everyone was like, oh, I couldn't believe it, like how he was so ahead. But this is a very dangerous style to play against here because it happens so fast.
Yeah. I mean, he won't have a time to react to it if he doesn't scout it in time. He needs to like get out there with his Corsairs and see the Hydras en route, and he's not going to because he's so cautious. He's making some hedge your bet cannons. These are called hedge your bet cannons, where you don't quite know, but you make a third cannon anyway. Sometimes they cancel them at 99% though, if they don't see anything. So it depends on. Oh, he's checking with the Zealots. This is great. He knows now.
Oh my goodness.
He tries to dive with the links from the top. He gets through the little hole in between the gateway and forwards. Tries to pounce on top of both of the cannons. Pretty good surface here, but he doesn't get the cannon on the right-hand side. And Zhanhun, with these Zealots, might be able to body block these Hydras just to buy a little bit of time for these cannons to build on the left-hand side. Now at least he can start to pick off the Forge and Gateway, though.
He can do that. The problem is going to be right like this. If he can get enough Overlord kills, he can supply block him and hold on. That, and/or if he has an Archives up, just get a DT. But I don't know. Here goes the bus. The bus has begun. He is going through here, pushing him back. Only 1 cannon. Do we have a Forge?
This is critical. I mean, he does have 1 singular Overlord here as well. If there was a DT, he needs to snipe this Overlord if he wants to go for the DT solution. I don't know if he's even decided to go for it. I think he is going to build the DT. He's bringing the Corsairs back. He knows he just needs to kill this 1 Overlord, then he has a chance. But all these Hydras might be in position enough to defend this. He might not be able to kill this Overlord. He needs to kill this Overlord. He dives for it. He might lose 1 or 2 Corsairs. He does catch it though. And there's the DT. He's gonna maybe defend this. The gateway gateway goes down, but there's another DT that's been made. These 2 DTs will easily screen these Hydras now. Zhanhun will stabilize.
Wow. DT's just in time, continuing to make probes. Forge is up. Sziky, no drones at his third base. In trouble here in game number 4. Oh my goodness. No armor on those Scourge, so they are just going to explode. And Sziky with the herd economy going to have a hard time with these Overlord. Oh my goodness, the DT has snuck in the main there. He goes.
Running away. Well, there's one more. There's one more Overlord there, though. Okay, maybe if he drills away from it, okay, he loses 1. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. He's not quite taken game-ending damage, but it's getting very close. It's very close. It's almost. Oh, that's really painful. Like, any more damage is just too much to recover from. Oh, he catches the DT. This could be huge. If he clears up this other DT. Okay, if he takes no more damage, this might just barely be playable.
I'm a little less in agreement there. He has no
It's wishful thinking, okay, buddy? I know Zaddy's got 1,000 minerals in the bank. It's not looking good. I just don't want Sziky to lose.
He doesn't want Sziky. I appreciate that, but I'm not as hopeful considering we have 3 hatcheries. We just lost a bunch of Overlords. We have no drones at the third base. I think Sziky's playing from a major deficit here.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. This is rough. Yeah, this is like 5% win percent is a little bit generous. I mean, one thing we have to say is that a lot of cannons were made from Zhanhun, so it did slow down the mid-game timing of how many gateways he can produce out of. Maybe that'll be enough of a slowdown for Sziky to, you know, stabilize, build some more drones, but he will keep losing some of these Overlords, and if he keeps getting supply blocks like this, I just don't see how he's going to recover. He needs to skirmish with the Zealot Templar, and he can't because he needs to also defend these Overlords at the same time. This is really awkward.
I wonder if we're going to see a Lurker contain.
Okay, this is a good start.
I thought maybe we would see like drops, like drop play maybe the next play up. You know, like start dropping Lurkers and mineral lines. He needs something, anything.
Yeah, he wants to kill maybe 1 or 2 Corsairs before he goes for that, just to like reduce the risk of the Overlords being intercepted. But I do agree with you, like a little Lurker drop tactic could be just what he needs to come back in this game. Something needs to be done. I don't think he should just play a completely straight up macro game here. I think he might be just devastated if he goes for that. 3 Zealots are going to get into the main base as well. Just 1 singular Hydra trying to clean this up. Not ideal.
Gets 1 drone. Every drone kill here is massive.
Yeah.
I think we're drop play here from Sziky. More Scourge coming out, trying to do what he can do. Drones not mining right now. He's got to put those back on.
I was literally just about to say, this lost mining time is absolutely devastating. Like, he definitely has to go for some kind of drop gambit or something now. He's so far behind the economic curve of this game. He won't be able to keep up with the production of Zhanhun for long. He might be able to get some good trades for the next minute or so if he gets up onto his high ground with the Lurkers. But I feel like a drop gambit into the main base might be what he needs to win this game.
And that's what we're going to see. He's positioning for it.
Yeah, it looks like it. He needs to do this. If he can somehow get in here, if Zhanhun doesn't identify this and get his army into position to deal with this, maybe if Zhanhun starts to move out just as Sziky's dropping into the main base, this could be huge.
This could be game ending, you're right. The 5% could happen right here.
Oh, it might happen. I mean, there's a lot of units coming out of these gateways, though. I'm a little bit worried still. Cautiously optimistic.
Oh, he's it.
Ooh.
Here we go.
Oh, 1 Overlord already going down. Some Lurkers in position. I don't know if this is enough. I don't feel like this is enough. Zerg are just not that strong in their drop strength, especially when there's no cracklings ripping through the buildings. You just don't have the potency, usually, especially if the army is in position in any sense of the word. So, unfortunately, not going to be finding that critical damage. And with these 3 cannons in the mineral line, it wasn't looking too hopeful either way. GG, Sziky knows the writing is on the wall, tying up this series right now. Wow. 2-all, Razz. Wow.
Wow. I'm shocked that it's just Zhanhun coming back after some crazy play, but he held on, man. That's not easy to hold. That was a very tough timing, and he did a great job. He played his strengths there with the Sair and the DT, knowing what he had to get done, and he does. So now all of a sudden, you said it. Oh, no, we don't want to see a 3-over reverse sweep. Here we are now. We're 2-2 going into the final map. Nobody's pick or ban. Deja Vu.
Yeah, this is Deja Vu, like the Matrix reference earlier. I think that means they changed something, though. What did they change? Was it the windows? Was it the doors? Who knows? Maybe it's something else crazy with the doodads, and it's going to make the units glitch out. I feel like we're going to be seeing some weirdness in this final game, though, because Sziky's going to be feeling a little bit shaken. And I don't know, a shaken Sziky versus a confident Zhanhun, that doesn't usually pan out good for Sziky.
Yeah, I mean, you got to start questioning what's going on. You're a little bit nervous. You're a little worried. You're pulling out your builds. Like, what could you have left? Deja Vu, though, another map where Lurker Contains can be super effective. Maybe he'll go for that, but it might be time for Sziky to do that greed we were talking about. Just go 3 hatch before pool and get after him, man. Just try to make it happen.
Yeah, he's going to have to think of something really creative here, I feel like, to get the better of the Zhanhun. It's not going to be easy. Deja Vu, it's a 4-player map, so anything can happen. Like, Sziky could go for a 9-pool speed again, and then, in the Zhanhun late scouts, we could just see a repeat of game number 1, and all of a sudden, Sziky just slaps him down right at the end with a very similar tactic of how he begun this journey. Who knows what's going to transpire? I mean, I feel like Ziky's got to be feeling like he has to try something, though. I imagine he's going to be feeling like he has to pull something out of his little special bag of tricks.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Zhanhun, I just play Forge again. I play really safe, just like he's been doing, and then take the game, right? Like, yeah. He's played 2 very standard games, and he's done a really good job. All right, here we go. We are going the distance with this matchup. Game number 5, Sziky versus Zhanhun on Deja Vu. Let's get into it. And spawning in the top left of Deja Vu, it is Sziky. And in the bottom right, making a comeback, it's Zhanhun.
What's your predictions, Razz?
I'm thinking Zhanhun is going to play very standard again. I think he's just going to go with Forge and just get into a mid-game, man. That's it. Yeah.
Although we might be seeing a so neither player win. You were wrong. Look at that, Razz.
Tie. All right. Tie.
Yeah.
We 2.5 to 2.5 is a draw.
Yeah.
Players want to play 1v1 on fastest to decide this game. That's it. Only way to get it done.
Yeah, random on fastest.
There it is, the 2.5 to 2.5. It's a draw. We're going to have to play random on fastest to see who is the winner. It's in the official rules.
Yeah.
All right, now, this is what you were talking about the Matrix. We're going to restart the match. We'll see where they spawn. Maybe that's the Deja Vu piece. See something's a little bit different is about where these guys spawn.
Well, hopefully they actually spawn in one of the 4 corners. You know what I mean? That'd be my wishful thinking, at least.
One spawn in the middle,
That'd be wild. Imagine that spawning in the middle only. Do a 4-pool from there.
4-pool all day. There you go. You want to be sneaky.
Yeah, sneaky Sziky with the 4-pool from mid would be rather spectacular to watch.
I will say it's been impressive. We've seen the range of builds that Sziky does have.
Right.
So
you need to have that as an aggressive Zerg, especially because if you're going to be an aggressive Zerg, you want a wide range of play because you don't want to be pigeonholed too much where they know exactly what you're going to do because they can just metagame you a little bit too hard.
I agree with that. So we're going to see if Sziky's going to pull something crazy out or if we're going to see some standard play. All right, we're getting back into the game. Here we go. Game number 5, Sziky versus Zhanhun. Let's get into it. All right, and still in the top left corner, it is Sziky. But Zune wanted the different Matrix move. We have a remap with Zhanhun in the bottom left.
That's what they changed, Razz. That's what they changed.
That's it. Big changes going on.
Man, you can't trust them. Like, who can trust the Matrix, man? The world is essentially, like, constantly evolving around you, and you're not necessarily aware of those changes. And that's kind of like StarCraft. It's an incomplete information game, and Zerg usually have the advantage. That's why it's so important to get this probe out and check what's what, so you can optimize your build to what the Zerg's doing. Otherwise, you're kind of playing in the dark, and that is where the Zerg wants to keep you. That's kind of why Sziky likes to use this Mutalisk style so much, because forcing the Corsairs to just hide away in the main base for so long until you've got 6 of +1 does give you a big information game win, right?
Absolutely. This matchup is just 100% about information. You need to know what Zerg's doing so you can make a good choice yourself. Because if you don't, and you walk that fine line, you just die.
Yeah.
Trust me, as someone who plays this race who's not as good as someone like Zhanhun, you die a lot when you make bad choices.
Yeah, trust me, as someone that plays this race who's nowhere near as good as Sziky. Yeah, important. For both sides.
Once again, we see Zhanhun just going with the standard 4-gear, man. He wants to play it out, and he's going to see this, and he's going to say, all right, Nexus before Cannon.
Yeah.
Look at Sziky.
This is how you play. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Having the drone already behind the mineral line just to make it more awkward. Although he's going to try and get this one. Okay, he can make a single cannon rush still. He can just make a pylon towards the south here and make that. Yeah, this is a little bit of a cautionary tale here, forcing a lot of drones off the line. Will he make the edit? Oh, this could get a little bit out of control.
I thought it was fake.
Oh, can he get the drone over?
Ooh, he gets the probe out.
Oh, and he's got another probe coming in. This could get really wild really quickly. He needs to get this other drone in there. So far, not so good for him, unfortunately. There's another cannon coming down underneath as well. He can't get the drone over. He needs a bit more DPS on this cannon, Razz. It's just barely not enough DPS. Just barely.
It will not be enough. It will be the death of him.
Oh,
if he does this. We have 2 on this one. But we have 3 cannons, man.
Yeah, he might. I thought for a second he might stop this southern cannon, but oh no! If he doesn't even stop this southern, oh, this is rough. This is really rough.
Game 5. This is how it's gonna be.
Okay, we've got 2 Sunkens on the way. I mean, one's fairly healthy, but there's 3 cannons. Yeah, 4 Lings going to work on there. The cannons were targeted on that Sunken to buy a little bit of time, but it's not going to be enough. No, he's not going to do it. No way. Look how low these cannons are. Can you believe it?
No, I cannot believe this. GG. Oh my God.
Oh my Jesus. That is wild. What a way to die. How can you go out like that, Razz? And you had the drone behind the mineral line.
Epic series, epic moves, comes down to a cannon rush where he even put the drone back there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
oh
wild.
My God, that one hurts me to watch.
That's painful.
Right
That's real painful.
That is tough. Well, with that being said, Zhanhun reverse sweeps Sziky and comes back and wins 3-2 to make it to the winner's bracket semifinal. But I mean, we saw a little bit of everything there. We got full speed, 2 hatch muta, cannon rushes. I mean,
that was a family sharing platter of, definitely a wide repertoire to sample from and enjoy. Like, really crazy series, really exciting stuff. But yeah, Zhanhun getting that reverse sweep. I was a little bit worried for Sziky. I did kind of have a little bit of suspicion we might be seeing that reverse sweep. Unfortunately, that was what was in the cards. And yeah, Zhanhun's looking more and more like a champion by the day. This is the kind of caliber of play you need from a champion. Just like a psychopath, cold and unfazed by the changing tides. Rock and just allowing those tides to just wash over you and just getting the win when it matters right at the end there. Like, really impressive stuff from him. I
mean, just the nerves, right, to hold on. So many people panic and you're like, oh, I'm down 2-0, this sucks. Like, you're in your own head. And not him. He was just like, nope.
You got to be so stoic to do that.
And then to finish it off with a cannon rush.
In a way,
I'm going to win.
Yeah, he's winning with basically the same kind of tricks that, Sziky wants to win with. And it's kind of like a way of establishing himself, both in terms of not only his results, but his own, like, self-credibility. Like, just reminding himself who he is. Like, hang on a minute, I can still win with these kinds of tricks as well. Like, don't disrespect me.
Just targeting so well with the cannon. It's, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was nice.
Oh my goodness. All right, I think we're going to take a short break here before the Cross and Sterling matchup. Don't leave. It's been an exciting day so far. We're going to have another exciting best of 5 coming up next. We'll be right back.